Small Wind Society, and it will be held by Jean-Daniel Pitteloud and his coordinator for the small wind sector in WEA. Jean, the word is yours, please.
Thank you, Morten, for the introduction. And we are very happy that you managed to organize this event online with this crisis. I'm very happy to see all the people yesterday and today in the meeting. Let me share my screen so I can start with my presentation. So I hope you see my screen now. Second, yes. So my name is Jean-Daniel Pitteloud. I work for the World Wind Energy Association in Bonn, in Germany. We were actually founded in Denmark by one of the founders also of the Nordic Folkecenter, Preben Mergard, back in 2001. We are a membership-based organization. We don't only deal with small wind, but also with big wind. We have different kind of members. We have more than 600 members at the moment in more than 100 countries. Many of you already know we have been active in the small wind sector since also many years, since 2012, where we started what is called the small wind section in the WWEA. These allow us to have different rules for small wind companies and small wind members. Also to have a chairman who is actually Morten Petersen from Denmark. And we also have a platform. We have we prepare small wind reports in the past, and we are still gathering statistics for small wind. So part of what I will present today is actually I will just make a brief overview of the market. It's a picture. The last picture we have from the market is from 2008. We are at the moment preparing new statistics, but it has become very difficult to gather this information in the last years, as many of the most important markets are now a bit are kind of slow sleeping markets. So there's not much information coming from there. Still, we managed to get some figures. So you can see here how the small wind have been growing during the last years. It's important to mention that um, for big wind, we usually talk about megawatts installed. When we talk about statistics for small wind, we also talk about units. It's important because the range of small wind is so big. It goes from 100 watts to 100 kilowatts. So in some countries, in some markets, you will have policies that are somehow beneficial for bigger machines or for smaller machines. So it's difficult to have a picture on when we talking only in installed capacity and not in units. So I will just present the figures very fast because we will have speakers today and tomorrow from different countries, and you will have the opportunity to actually ask about what is the real situation at the moment in those markets. I just want to put here that the small wind has been growing, not as fast as we wanted, and as fast as we expected, but it has been in the big markets always policies changing policies, and the incentives have changed in the last year. So it has been very difficult for companies and for people to install. So you can see here in 2017 we have a growth in terms of capacity. This was mainly because of Italy and Japan, where they have a feed-in tariff that it was beneficial for bigger machines. So you can see here that in terms of units, the growth was not so big, but in terms of capacity was bigger than the previous years. This is only to show you that how policies actually affect the installations on the market in every country. So in terms of installation units, you see here China is dominating, followed by US, UK. You see Italy was a big market, was important market during the last years because of the free tariff, but still in terms of unit was very small compared to the other countries, as I mentioned, because the free tariff was beneficial for machines 60 kilowatt machine and 200 kilowatt machine. The same as in Japan. Usually machines 20 in order 20 kilowatt they were installed in Japan more than the smaller ones. So you see in terms of units, not so big. But in terms of capacity, you see here, for example, Italy is number 3, uh, followed by the UK, a market that was very good also in the in the previous, let's say, 4 years. Last year, since 2 years, it stopped basically because of the feed-in tariff stop. And then you see here also a list of countries who in the past we knew they have installation, but you can see here it's very difficult to update these figures. So we will be happy if we get some information from these other countries, some updated information so we can update these figures. And we hope to do so in the next in this year. Next year we will have to try to get a picture of the other markets, not only the what were the big the important markets in the past, but also these smaller markets that can actually play a role for small wind companies. So this is just what I wanted to show you about the figures in general. As I mentioned, I hope today, tomorrow, we can ask questions to the people representing these countries, or many of these countries, about what is the actual situation of the market. This was a picture from 2018. I hope in the next month we will be able to publish the new statistics by the end of 2019. And we hope to see a better picture actually than the previous years. There's still a lot of potential for small wind. In the last year in this conference, I presented also about what would be the potential market for small wind, and there's a lot of potential. We just need to find a way to have more stable policies for small wind. We will try. We should try to do more lobbying at the local and national level in all these regions, so we can have better regulations and better policies and more incentive for small wind. So now I wanted to show you also a new thing we started this year. It's called the Small Wind Online Platform. We gather input from several stakeholders from the small wind industry, from companies and academics, and also developers, and some also general, let's say, consumers, about how a platform, online platform, can help the small wind sector to develop. So I will just share you directly from the browser. This is online. So if you go to smallwind.windea.org, you will be accessing the small wind platform. So in this platform, we wanted to, it's mainly for manufacturers, or for companies, and for the general public. So we try to do it as modern as we can. This platform will be a multi-language platform, so we can reach more people. So as it's difficult for us to prepare, to produce information about small wind, we will try to gather information from everywhere in every language and put it here available for everybody. So we will try to make this a hub for small wind information. And so we start, for example, with a knowledge base. Here's where we will gather all this information and we'll make it available for everybody. So when you access this page, you basically will see it's like basically some statistics about small wind, where you can access the reports. You will have you can access a playlist in YouTube where we collect all the videos that we find in YouTube. There are good videos, are actually good for the industry, and we we are putting them together in playlists. So people, if you want to know about products, there's a playlist for small wind products. If you know how to install a small wind machine, then you see videos about how to install wind machine directly from manufacturers, but also from general people who made these installations and they put it online. Webinars, this is a new thing we are organizing. We already have the first webinar, but I will show you this page later. So we also here, we show the steps how to make a project. I mean, which are the basic steps. And then we collect this information, as I mentioned, from each of these steps, and we put it here. So for example, here you see we have information in English, we have information in German from different sources. Also from manufacturers, you have reports, videos. Also, we have tools. If any of the manufacturers.
John, we are not able to see your web
Okay.
interface.
Oh, sorry. Let me. Here. Now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry for that. So yeah, I just started, but this is a web page you can access smallwin.windea.org. So I was talking about the knowledge base. Here's where we collect the information. As I mentioned, we have here the videos, the YouTube channel where you have the playlist, and then these steps of how a project you can go from the beginning to the end, which are the steps you should take when you want to make a small web project, and here the information from different sources in different language from each of these steps. This information we collect from everywhere, from good sources, and we put it here available for everybody. So you can actually here see and download reports, so the guides in English or German. And then we have the webinars. This is something we started this year. We already organized one webinar in March. Next one will be in May. And we will put here the information about the webinar. Also, all the recordings of the webinar will be here available for people to access. So we will try to go through all the topics, important topics for small wind. We started already with some about policies or the drivers of the small wind markets at the moment. Something important here for manufacturers is a quality section. Basically here what it offers a quality guide for consumers, for potential project developers. So we mentioned here what will be a safe buying, or which are all the steps. If you follow these steps, you are on the safe side. And then also, in case you cannot, because of whatever, you cannot follow all the steps, you cannot, one of these is missing, then there's some way to mitigate the risk when you prepare a project. For example, if you have a machine that is not certified, then you should you can mitigate risk using one of these things here. And we're trying to collect the consumer labels from the machines. We want to make this also a hub where we collect all the certification labels and we put it here. We talk about which are the standards available, which are the schemes, which are the labels at the moment available. And then we have the database of machines where you can actually compare. You can also see the labels and the reports. And also, if you don't know about the label and you want to know more because you don't know maybe the technical details of what this means, you can also see here some explanation of what is this information that is included in the label. Then finally, at the moment, this is what we have, but we have a section for policy. This is important also from manufacturers because sometimes they cannot follow all the countries everywhere, I mean, in the world, to see what are the changes and the policies. So we are trying to put here list, for example, feed-in tariffs, and then we have by country, which are the values and the limits. And then we will have a section for net metering also, or other kind of supporting incentive policies available in the market. We will have here a list. So manufacturers can, if they want to know, for example, which countries are now maybe good for them, they can come here and see which can be this market. So then we have a section directory that basically you go and then you see some small wind companies there listed in our website. So for the moment, this is what we have. As I mentioned, this will be a multi-language platform. So we already started translating this into Spanish, and then more language will follow. And the idea, as I mentioned, is to make this a hub for small wind information. Basically, we will not make it WWEA, but we will make it basically we'll collect any information available and we'll just link it here so people can come. So this was all from my side today. If you have any questions. I think we don't hear you, Morten. You're muted. Now, yes.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much for your good introduction to WWEA, Jean-Daniel. It was very informative, and we are a bit close to the next speaker, but if there are very short questions, we'll take them now. Otherwise, we'll have them in the afternoon after the final speakers. Are there anybody who wants to raise a question right now? No, it seems so. Well, then I've just for information, we will have, you should have all received a program, and we will have a break here about 10 o'clock. I can tell you that yesterday we had 144 participants to the webinar. We had from 34 different countries, and it's very good to see that we have such a backup on this webinar. Well.